So I read Half Light, the upcoming Indian queer romance novel by Mahesh Rao. I believe it comes out in 2 days, so I figured I'd get on here to talk about it. Thank you to Pushkin Press for my early proof copy of this one. It was good. Understated, maybe too understated, but there was always enough going on to captivate me at least, which is more than can be said for lots of other books. So the story is all about Pavan and Neville, these two men who cross paths in Darjeeling. One of them runs like a family business hotel, the other one is staying at that hotel when there's a landslide and they're all sort of trapped in together. They have this immediate connection, then the landslide resolves, they spend a few years apart only to then come back together by chance, and that sort of reignites feelings, frustrations. It's difficult to be a queer person in India. The story leads up to the legalization of being gay in India, and so you feel that undercurrent throughout. I do wish that we'd had more personal time with Pavan, Neville, and their relationship together, because the book ends and I did get the sense that I didn't really know them as well as I probably should do. And maybe that's because there are some very upsetting themes in this. Like, definitely check your trigger warnings. Like, at one point, there's basically a revenge porn storyline, and it's very upsetting. So be careful before you go into a book like this. But I did like that it showed like the uglier side of queer characters, because sometimes they can be seen as like untouchable and we're not allowed to malign a queer person in a story, and it's like, no, queer people can be bad people. So I thought that was quite interesting, and I did appreciate that representation. Not all representation has to be good, so I thought that was very mature. Something that I will say though, for a location as dynamic and I presume like visually arresting as India, the book could have done so much more to set the scene. Like, we're told it's in India, but if we weren't told that, I don't know if that would be like very obvious to me. Like, it's not presented in as broad of a way as it could be, and that's a shame, because India is supposed to be at the very heart of the story. The story culminates in queer legislature in India, so give me a flavor of the country. You know, like when you read Blessings, you get a feel for Nigeria, and when you read Swimming in the Dark, you get a feel for Poland. Like, I love these queer stories that are based internationally, but give me India, because I've never been to India and I want the sights, the senses, the smells, all of it. It did feel very true to life how our two main characters spend so much time working on their own things without actually crossing paths again. It just, sometimes in lit fic and romantic lit fic, it gets a bit weird how obsessive the two characters are for one another, and they're constantly in the same room, in each other's heads. It gets a bit nauseating. I like that these two characters, when they're not together, it's not the end of the world. Like, life moves on. That felt very three-dimensional, very fully realised, because it's not that serious, you know? Like, I get it. Maybe it's because I've never been in love. Maybe I'm too much of a cynic. It's not that deep, is what I would say. And I like that this book was sort of just like, anyways, so they split apart and then they did come back together, but were their lives depending on it? No, they weren't. There's some really random side character moments. Like, at one point they talk at length about how Neville's aunt lost her child through choking on like a small bead or something. And it was sad, I guess, but it was also, there was a part of me that was just like, why is this in the book? Like, it just felt really random to me. Maybe the author was drawing on personal experiences with a child choking to death. I don't know, it was just really like, oh, what's this book? This is a different book. Oh, and there's a moment as well, we have to talk about it. So one of our two main characters, there's like a father priest figure who tells them that, like, of course, homosexuality is a mortal sin. You'll go to hell if you love another man. You know the drill. So he says all of that, and then in like a dirty protest before he leaves, one of our two main characters like rubs his ejaculate all over different parts of the house. Like, he's like smearing it on the curtains, putting it under the couch cushions. It was so foul and I loved it. And that's the sort of thing where I'm like, oh, okay, I can believe like a queer person wrote that. That kind of wit to it. I could have done with more of that. There were moments like that. I had a great time with that. But there could have been a bit more of that sort of queer mindset that just, I see it in my mind's eye. I'm like, yes, I see you. So would I recommend this book? I think so. In terms of like the whole mass market of modern queer literature, which is like a vast beast, I'd put it somewhere in the middle. It's solid. It's not as bad as some of the really popular ones that are like so insufferable you wouldn't read them on a desert island. But I'm also not going to obsess about this until the end of time. It's fine. I liked it.